Hi, this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and you're listening to Job Search Radio. Instagram? Pinterest? For job hunting? Yeah, I had a similar reaction, but as I started to listen to Holly Bunn and her ideas about it, it all made perfect sense for me, and I think it'll make a lot of sense to you as well. Now, at times, Holly's audio isn't great, but hang in there and enjoy the ride because there's a lot in there that I think you'll really find helpful. Enjoy the show.
Are you looking for a new job or interested in leveling up? Job Search Radio is your go-to resource for insider tips on job hunting and growing your career. Here's your host, Jeff Altman.
So my guest on this show is Holly Bunn, who's a professional resume writer and career coach. And we have been trying to do this show now for weeks, and we've been technologically challenged. Holly, welcome back yet again to Job Search Radio. Great to have you.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
So, Instagram for job hunting? Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is the fastest growing social network for job search out there out of all of them.
Really? You know, I just think it was a way of sharing photographs, of course, but you obviously know some other techniques. Give us some of the basics of how to use Instagram for job hunting, okay?
Sure. So the first thing that job seekers have to understand is how companies are using Instagram to find companies will search the followers list of their followers. So they will do a keyword search on the Instagram person's description. So if they're looking for like a graphic artist, they'll do a search of their followers for a graphic artist. And the only way to get found in that search result is that if your description, your Instagram account has the type of job, has like a hashtag for the type of job that you're seeking. So now that's the first thing. So job seekers need to understand how companies are looking for them on Instagram. The second thing is...
I'm going to pause you right there because I just want to make sure I got that right. So when firms are starting to look for, let's say, graphic design people, they're searching the people that are following their firm on Instagram to see if any of them are graphic design professionals. Do I have that right?
That's correct.
Wow. I'm listening intently.
Yes, you are.
By the way, how many people use Instagram, would you say?
Instagram has 200 million users. About 75 million of those users are daily users.
75 million of them are what?
Daily users. That means they go on Instagram every day.
Wow.
Yep.
So the first thing is to follow firms that you might want to work for in order to make sure that those organizations know of you. So there has to be some way that you reflect the fact that you're a graphic design person in your Instagram profile. Am I getting that right as well?
Yes. So that's the important part, right? So if they're looking for you, you got to make sure you get found. So the second thing you have to do is, as a job seeker, in the description field of your Instagram account, you want to put a hashtag. So if we say that graphic designer, it's going to say hashtag graphic designer. So if I'm Holly Bunn, I'll say, Holly Bunn, I love chocolate, I love movies, and I'm a graphic designer, hashtag graphic designer. And so because of that hashtag, that will allow me to show up in the search results when someone is searching for graphic designer by that hashtag. Now, that's the second thing, the description. The third thing that you want to do is, so Instagram is for pictures, right? We already said that at the beginning. Instagram is for pictures. If you're a graphic designer, you want to share some of your creations on your Instagram page. Share your work. Show what you can do as a graphic designer. Okay, so when people land on your page, they become interested in the work that you're doing. And then the The fourth thing is you marry that whole thing together. Let's say I'm a graphic designer and I want to work for Coca-Cola. I want to design all the graphics for their ad campaigns. First thing I'm going to do is follow Coca-Cola. The second thing I'm going to do is post a picture of maybe some work that I've done, a mock-up of maybe I had. And I'm going to not only do hashtag Coca-Cola, I'm going to do hashtag graphic designer. I'm going to do a shout out to Coca-Cola. Hey, Coca-Cola, I'm the best graphic designer in the world. Look what I can do. Let me take you to the next level.
You've covered a lot of points. I'm going to pause you for 1 second there because I just want to review them.
Yeah.
So we've talked about in your profile, first of all, following firms that you want to work for.
Yes.
Secondly, in your profile, using hashtags galore so that firms can find you.
Yes.
So we keep using this graphic design example, but the same thing could exist for any profession whatsoever. If I was looking for a job, for example, I would do hashtag recruiter, hashtag headhunter, hashtag human resources, and a whole bunch of other things to cause people to want to find me or identify me as someone that they'd want to reach out to. So that's number 2 is the hashtag strategy.
Yes.
Number 3 was posting some samples of your work. Now, I know for me right now, every once in a while, I shouldn't say every once in a while, with much more regularity, I'm using a product called Fonto, Phonto, to put up some things on Instagram that help people learn about some of the jobs I'm recruiting for. I'm doing short videos about things that I'm looking for, tips that I have for people about job search. So again, you were talking about putting out content. I'm giving the audience a sense of some of the content that they could put out. And then there was the 4th strategy. That was the shout out, right?
Yes.
I'm doing so well here. So the shout out is, causing, again, we use Coca-Cola as the example. Hey, Coke. Hey, Coca-Cola. This is some of the great stuff I do. Love to work for you. Take a look. Or might you even go so far, I think on one of our previous attempts, you went so far as to use that an illustration of how someone could craft a campaign.
Yes. And that is the most interesting part. I've actually seen this from an artist, someone who paints, right? And I saw it on Instagram. He started off with a blank white canvas. He took a picture of it and said, getting ready to start my next creation. That's all.
Ready to start what? I'm sorry.
My next creation. Right?
Got it.
Posted the picture, hashtagged it to death so that people could find him. The second thing he posted was a video of him actually mixing. He had a little bit of commentary on there, something like, this is going to be a masterpiece. I'm actually mixing colors I haven't mixed before. Stay tuned to find more. So now people started to look forward to his next post. And this guy is an amazing artist. But he did the background. So like half of the canvas was white. And he started painting the background. It was just like black and white colors. And he did this throughout the whole campaign. He did a post every day to show the progress that he made. And at the end of like 7 days, this beautiful painting was his masterpiece. He took you on that journey, right? And started with a blank canvas. And this is how you draw people into your work as an artist. You can do this if you're an interior designer. Even if you're an accountant, you can start with a blank notebook or a blank spreadsheet. Take a picture of a laptop. I've done this. Go to my Instagram page. You'll see me prepare notes for my show, and I'll show my laptop, a notebook, and my coffee mug, and I'll say, preparing for the next show. Stay tuned. Join me at 12. And that's how you get people to get engaged, interested, and they'll start to follow you. And you'll attract the attention of a future employer, especially if you shout them out and you hashtag them as you're posting. This is how you get found on Instagram because they're looking. They know that you're there. So they're looking right on Instagram to find you.
Fascinating. And folks, we'll be back with more from Holly in just a moment. But first, my job search insider tip for this show, which is about interview preparation. Now, most people go to an interview and they aren't as well prepared as they could be. And to give you a sense of typical preparation, what most people at best will do is they'll read a job description beforehand and say, okay, this is what they're looking for. Okay, I think I can speak to that. And that's as much as they do. Here's what I'd like you to do instead. Take the job description, lay out the requirements for the position and what they want someone to do in one column. In the second column, list some of your accomplishments to relate to that. So that you go item by item and remind yourself of some of the things that you've done that relate to the first item or the items in the first column. And then the pièce de résistance, the perfect way to tie the bow, is in the right-hand column. What I'd love you to do is remind yourself of some stories that you can tell to illustrate these points, because facts are facts, and they're not going to really make you stand out from other people, because a lot of the ones that they're going to talk to will have similar facts to yours, but no one's going to have your stories except for you. So my encouragement is 3 columns, the job requirements and the functionality in one. The second column is the list of the actual things that you've done that relate to them, how long and how recently you might have done them. And the third one is a reminder of some of the stories. Now, if you're doing a phone interview, you can keep this out in front of you as a guide sheet for yourself, so that all you're going to be able to do is reference this. No one will know, and you're going to be so incredibly prepared for your next interview. So that's my insider tip for this show. If you like more, visit my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot more there that you can watch, listen to, or read to help you find work more quickly. Now let's come back to Holly and pick up where we left off. Hi, Holly.
Hi.
Terrific. So we've been talking about a variety of strategies for Instagram. Are there any more that you have in there for folks?
For Instagram, the one thing I can say is that you want to share diverse content. You want to share pictures. You want to share video. You want to include pictures of yourself, right? Because there's some people that don't like selfies, or they don't like pictures of them included, but you want to make sure that your content is diverse. You want to also focus on your skills in that content, right? So let's say you're a computer programmer, and what do you share from a computer programmer? Let's say you admire Steve Jobs or you admire Bill Gates. Post a picture of that. Say, hey, my latest database program. Shout out to Bill Gates. Thanks for starting. This is where it all started. Hashtag Microsoft. Hashtag hire me. Hashtag jobs. Hashtag computer programmer. All of those will get recruiters to find you just by simply posting a picture of that person. So make sure you have diverse content.
And it's obvious that a lot of people put up memes on Instagram. They share quotes on Instagram as a way of, quote, inspiring others. And I'm sure sharing that kind of material goes a long way toward creating an identity that people want to follow.
Absolutely. A great place, and honestly, this is one of the best places to find some of the greatest quotes, and they're pretty awesome, is Pinterest. I don't know if you've heard of Pinterest, but you can do, if you go to Pinterest and you do a search on quotes or inspirational quotes or motivational quotes, wow, you will see so many of them that you can share right to Instagram.
That is great. So we're basically, folks, going to be talking about Pinterest next. So this is the perfect segue. But what Holly's pointed out is you can use Pinterest content on Instagram as a way of creating material that will help attract people to you.
Yes.
Very sweet. Now, Pinterest For job hunting?
Absolutely.
Okay. I've heard this twice before, but I still struggle with this as a concept.
Okay.
Thank you. So could you explain to people what they can be doing with Pinterest to help them with their job search?
Absolutely. So Pinterest, if you don't know what it is, think of it as a bulletin board or a cork board that's online, where you pin things with a stick pin to that bulletin board, and it's information. So if you're at college, you've seen these bulletin boards with job openings, with things for sale, with party flyers, anything that can go on that bulletin board. So Pinterest has all of that, right? Pinterest is a new social media platform. There are about 90 million and growing people that use Pinterest, somewhere around 35 million daily users per day. And Pinterest is 70% women. So companies that look to hire women and they want to fulfill that quota, they're going straight to Pinterest because they know that that's a captive audience. Now, Pinterest by itself is mostly known for fashion, recipes, interior design, things that are, kind of light, and really things that girls like, right? So
recipes,
flowers, jewelry and shoes and all kinds of things, right? So when companies go to Pinterest, number one, what they do is they create a company page that has job postings. They will have pin boards, so to speak. So go back to those cork boards. And, the college campus that has all the papers on it that says, hey, we're hiring, grab this piece of paper. So they'll create a board for their actual job postings. Now, on my Pinterest page, I have a board that says actual job postings. We're hiring. And I pin other people's jobs onto my Pinterest so that my followers have access to those jobs. They don't have to search for them. And so the second thing that companies are doing is they're posting things to attract people to their pages. So I said they like shoes, recipes, things that a lot of girls like. They'll put those things on their boards and they'll look at who's commenting, who has liked their pins, who has repinned their pins. And in the same way I told you on Instagram, when you create a Pinterest account, you're going to hashtag the fact that you're a graphic designer, the fact that you're an accountant, or you're, let's say, a computer programmer. You're going to create a Pinterest profile just like you would on Instagram. You're going to, in your description, hashtag it for the job that you want to apply for. You're going to follow companies that you want to work for and like their information. You're going to like their posts. You're going to repost them. They're called repins on Pinterest. So think of it as retweeting or sharing like we would on Facebook. On Pinterest, it's repinning. So you're going to repin their information that they put out. You're going to get seen in the same way. The reason why Pinterest is so different, it's visual the way that Instagram is, but it's not as interactive. It's mostly for commerce. So if you want to buy something, if you want to sell something, Pinterest is the first place that people go, right? And so companies are there, brands are there in heavy numbers because they're selling products and they want to sell it to a captive audience. And that captive audience is 70% women. So if you go to my Pinterest, I post things. I'm a resume writer and a career coach. So I have somewhere around 15 pin boards. I have job search and career advice, what to wear to an interview, what not to wear to an interview, beauty tips, how to do your makeup for an interview, what to eat when you're in the job search so that you don't fall asleep at your computer, what to eat to give you energy, what companies are hiring, resume examples. I have all of these things, even shoes to wear to an interview, shoes. And so if you go to my Pinterest, you'll get an idea of some of the things that you can do as a job seeker on Pinterest, not only to attract employers to you, but to actually look for those things on other employers' boards. So Coca-Cola, they'll actually have a careers board where they post some of their job postings. You go up there, hey, pin, like, repin, hey, Coca-Cola, love the posting, would love to work for you. And what I suggest in the description field of your Pinterest page, because you get a lot of room, more room than you do on Instagram, is you want to put a link, maybe a bit.ly link or something like that, to your actual LinkedIn profile, so that when they find you on Pinterest, it leads them to LinkedIn, which is your actual career profile. And that way they get to know who you are.
Very smart. Use bit.ly, bit.ly, folks. So that's the one of the link shorteners. If you happen to have a preference for a Google link shortener, goo.gl, whatever it is, I like bit.ly. I think Google archives them a little too quickly. And if you're using it as part of a job search, one of the worst things that can happen to you is if you use a shortener and what they've issued to you has been archived and no one can reach you and you don't know about it. So use bit.ly. That'll stay around for a long time. But the idea of taking them from your Pinterest boards over to LinkedIn so they can see your actual background, very, very smart, Holly. I like that. Very, very clever. Now, you were saying that you can put your resume on Pinterest. Did I catch that right?
Yes. So the easiest way to do that, because you can't put a Word document, okay? You can't put that on Pinterest. And I do not recommend, though people do it, I do not recommend putting your whole resume on Pinterest, because you never, ever, 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 ever want to give a recruiter enough information to make a decision right then and there. You give them enough information to get intrigued, enough to call you and ask more questions, right? So I tell my folks to take either like your summary and your name, go on and put that up on the Word document on your computer. You want to take a screenshot of your name and maybe your summary and maybe your skill set. Save that as a JPEG, because Pinterest will only allow you to load images. So a GIF, a JPEG, a PNG. You want to save it as a JPEG and load that onto your Pinterest board and say, my resume. And because it's not your whole resume, someone has to actually contact you to get the rest of the resume.
Might you put your LinkedIn profile there, your phone number, email address, that sort of thing?
Yep. You put that in the JPEG.
Very clever. And what came to mind as you were describing what you want to put in is an abbreviated version of a functional resume that highlights your skills or maybe your successes. Because when we're talking about a JPEG, we're not talking about a full page resume. We're looking for something abbreviated. So I could see doing that. Name, phone numbers, mobile, of course, folks, email address, URL to LinkedIn profile. And the cute thing about the LinkedIn profile is if you have one of the paying LinkedIn subscriptions, you can see who's looked at your profile. So this way you can reach back to them after you've seen that they've looked at your profile to say, hey, notice you looked at the profile. What can I help you with, or what were you looking for? Very clever.
Absolutely.
Very clever, Holly. I like this a lot.
Good.
Now, we're starting to come up on the end of our time with one another, and I want to make sure we cover a lot of information. Now, I'm going to trust you here because you're the expert on these two products, and I'm not. What haven't we spoken about yesterday about using, about using either Instagram or Pinterest that people should know?
So Instagram, the best times to be on Instagram where brands are looking for you would be on Thursday. I don't know why it's Thursday, but it's Thursday according to the latest research. So Thursday is the day. The best time to be on Pinterest where brands are looking for you is during the day. Any day of the week, Monday through Friday. And you're going to be on there somewhere between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock p.m. Now, people pin, don't mistake that for people pin on Pinterest late at night. So users of Pinterest pin somewhere between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. Companies are looking at that time. Trust me, recruiters do burn the midnight oil. I know they do. Okay? But they're actually posting content, and they're actually doing those searches they're actually posting content to their brands during the day, and they're searching at night. So you want to, on Pinterest, you want to make sure that you're looking while they're posting, because first in wins. The name of the game when it comes to job seeking, you want to get in front of the recruiter as fast as you can and beat everybody out. So you want to try to get to that job posting as soon as it hits the pin board.
And one of the key things, I'm going to interrupt you here for a second, is recruiters have this bias toward individuals that they perceive are passive candidates. And if they don't find you on a job board and they found you through one of these other vehicles, they think they're smart. And they were so smart to find you when you just basically put out breadcrumbs and drew them in.
Yes, exactly. And you become the purple squirrel, right? And all you did was just lead them right to you.
Exactly right. I love this approach. What else, Holly? What else do people need to know?
And so on Pinterest, just make sure that, and it is true on Instagram, but more so on Pinterest, be courteous. And that means that if you go to someone's page and you repin them, make sure you like it first. Right? Don't just repin somebody's stuff and not like their stuff. Because much like on Instagram, Instagram and Facebook, likes matter, right? Especially the brands. They like when people like their things. So make sure that you're diplomatic in the way that you repin information. You like it first, and then you repin it. And what that will do is, I've seen it personally happen, people will start to go to your boards because you're liking their stuff and start to repin you, because you're liking so much of their things. And that's going to make, especially if a brand is watching you and you're liking. Let's say you did post that Coca-Cola graphic image. Hey, Coke would love to work for you. And they repin you on their board and get you exposed to all the millions of people that are watching them. So make sure you like first and then repin.
Wow. Holly, this is information that no one shares, knows. Thank you. How can people reach out to you and find out more about the work that you do?
Absolutely. You can reach me on LinkedIn by searching for Holly Bunn. You can find me on Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter at Ms. Resume Help. That's at MSRESUMEHELP. At Ms. Resume Help. You can even do a Google search on Holly Bunn, Ms. Resume Help, and you'll find 2 pages of information. Find me on any one of them. So that's how you find me.
Super. And I'll have your LinkedIn address in the show notes for this episode.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Holly. And folks, we'll be back next time with more advice for you. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. And as I mentioned earlier, visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot more there. And connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. I hope you enjoyed today's show. We put a lot of effort into getting this one done. Time number 3. Hope you have a great day. Take care.
For more job search advice, visit Jeff's website at thebiggamehunter.us. That's thebiggamehunter.us.